Hello and welcome to a new video. Today I'm making a scarf. Yes, a lacy one, but it's a bulky one. And actually this scarf can be made in only one evening because the yarn is bulky, the hook size is large, and the stitches are quite big. So if you have about 300 or 320 yards of bulky yarn, which would be 200 grams, and you don't know what to make with it, you can easily make this scarf. The finished measurements of the scarf are about 65 inches long and 9 inches wide. So this scarf can be a beautiful bright accessory, but also if wrapped around the neck a couple of times, it will keep you warm and cozy. And as always, the written pattern is available in my Etsy and Ravelry shops. And I want to say a huge thank you to those of you who purchase my patterns because you basically provide me with a job. You give me a chance to pay my bills and buy my food and provide for my two children and myself. I'm very, very grateful for that.
The yarn that I'm using is Mandala Watercolors by Lion Brand. This yarn is 75% acrylic, 15% wool and 10% nylon. This is a bulky category 5 yarn. I will work with a hook size K, 6.5 millimeters. And the specific color that I'm using is Teaberry. I start with 25 chains, which I crochet loosely. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Here I have 25 chains and I'm ready to start my first row. And in this pattern I will be working with treble crochets. So into the 5th chain from the hook I work 2 trebles. We never count the chain on the hook, we always start counting from the next one. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Into this chain I work 2 trebles. So yarn over twice. I work the first treble. And now again yarn over twice and into the same chain I work 1 more treble. And these 4 skipped chains also count as a treble. So now I count it as I have 3 trebles. Next I make 1 chain and I will be inserting the hook into that same chain where I already worked 2 trebles, and into this same chain I will work 3 trebles. So yarn over twice and I make 1 treble, yarn over twice and into the same chain I make the second treble, yarn over twice and I work the third treble. And this counts as my first shell. I have 3 trebles, 1 chain and 3 trebles worked into the same stitch. Next I skip 4 chains, 1, 2, 3, 4, and into the next chain I will work a V-stitch. And again, in this pattern I'm working with trebles, so it's going to be a treble V-stitch. Yarn over twice, I work my first treble, then 1 chain, and into the same chain where I already worked my treble, I work 1 more treble. So here I have a V-stitch, a treble, 1 chain and a treble. This is my shell, this is my V-stitch. I skip 4 chains, 1, 2, 3, 4, and into the next chain I will work a shell again. So yarn over twice and I make a treble. And then I work 2 more trebles into that same chain. So here I have 3 trebles. Now I make 1 chain, and into this same chain where I already worked 3 trebles, I work 3 more trebles. 1, 2, and 3. And now again, the way I worked over here, I will work a V-stitch. I skip 4 chains, 1, 2, 3, 4, and into the next one, I work a treble, 1 chain, and into that same chain, I work 1 more treble. So I have a shell and a V-stitch, a shell and a V-stitch, and I will end with a shell. Again, I skip 4 chains, 1, 2, 3, 4, and into the last one I work a shell. So 3 trebles, 1, 2, and 3, then 1 chain and 3 more trebles. 1, 2, and 3. So I have a shell and a V-stitch, a shell and a V-stitch and a shell, 3 shells and 2 V-stitches. I turn my work and I start the next row with 4 chains, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now into this chain 1 space, inserting the hook under the chain, not directly into the chain, but into the space under. I work a shell. So first 3 trebles, 1, 2, and 3. Then 1 chain, and into the same space 3 more trebles. 1, 2, and 3. So here I have a shell worked into a shell. Next I will work a V-stitch into the next V-stitch. Yarn over twice and inserting the hook under the chain. I work a treble, 1 chain, and into the same space 1 more treble. Here I have a shell worked into a shell, and here I have a V-stitch worked into a V-stitch. And now the pattern repeats. Next I have a shell, so I work a shell into that shell. So 3 trebles, 1, 2, 3, then 1 chain and 3 more trebles. 1, 2, and 3. And into the next V-stitch I work a V-stitch, a treble, 1 chain and a treble. And I finish this row by making a shell into the last shell. 1, 2, 3, then 1 chain and 3 more trebles. 1, 2, and 3. And I have 2 rows finished, and I'm getting a lacy, soft and squashy fabric. I turn my work, and the next row is gonna be the same as row number 2. I start with 4 chains, 1, 2, 3, 4, and now I will work a shell into the shell, then a V-stitch into the V-stitch, a shell into the shell, and a V-stitch into the V-stitch. And that's how this pattern is worked.